This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff and everybody else.
Born.
Full barn. Any new listeners, especially those from Mali?
Hey, Molly.
That's so cool.
I
Thank
know.
you guys for loving us.
We
We
love you.
apparently, yeah, we apparently cracked the top 150-ish in Mali of sports podcasts, which, just going to be really honest, I don't know about 150 sports podcasts that are probably listened to in that country, but I'm glad we cracked the top,
You got
whatever
to
that
start
is.
somewhere.
The best thing is we don't talk about soccer.
Yeah, that is questionable, is why they got to us.
Yep.
But today is Wednesday, February 12th, and there was a happy birthday for Jim within the past week.
Yep. That was my birthday.
Birthday is it?
Is there
It
anything
was a good
exciting that
birthday.
happened, Jim? Did you have any visitors to your office? Were there
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
young females in your life dressed up?
Yeah. My two daughters came to my office dressed as chickens.
Young chicks.
Dressed as chickens. It was a good time. I got some homage clothes from the
Nice.
in-laws. A bunch of Ohio State stuff. Super pumped about that. Got some homage clothes from my wife.
Did any
So
of them
my
say screw Jim Knowles?
no, but if that shirt comes out,
How many of them say
I
Orion Day?
Yeah.
none of them say that. I have one that says Ohio against the world.
Oh boy.
Finally got that t-shirt. Super pumped. That'll be a probably a podcast in-season shirt. When I bought it, with my gift card, I specifically was like, this will be for the podcast. So that was a good birthday. Thank you to all the birthday wishes and gifts and stuff. It was cool.
I don't know if the world's the problem, Jim. I think it's a northern neighbor.
Yeah, no shit. No shit.
As always, thanks to everybody interacting with our content on the socials. You can catch us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell.
Ding ding.
Ding ding! Right into the big game, the superb owl.
Really? Your one chance to like shoot up the Super Bowl and you just tank it? Like
He's
I
doing
was
West
pumped.
City impression.
Ugh,
Superb owl.
all right,
Superb. Ow.
that happened.
We'll see where all this goes. I'm not sure where all this conversation will end up. I just put some small clips of
We're winging it.
where it will be. I'm sure there's a lot of other discussion that could ensue. The Eagles obviously dominate on their way to a 40-24 win. Happy birthday to both Cooper DeJean and Saquon Barkley. Both of their birthdays were on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
Quite the way to
How cool
celebrate a
is
birthday.
that?
It was pretty cool. I saw that. Uh, Early on, we had Mahomes to Juju Smith-Schuster on the first offensive play of the game for a first down, and then the Chiefs pretty much just took a break until the fourth quarter.
That was their only
Yeah.
first down of the whole first half.
Correct.
Yeah. Juju,
It's a
which
bad
I think brought
juju.
the bad juju. Yeah.
I agree. Early on, we also had an offensive pass interference call against A.J. Brown that had all of the conspiracy theorists on the edge of their seats, ready to take down the establishment that is the NFL, the referee system. And then the Eagles seemed to get a little bit of a makeup call.
Couple makeup calls.
The first one
Oh,
led to a brotherly shove for Jalen Hurts to take the early
only
lead.
one brotherly shove the entire game.
Yeah, they didn't really need it, did they?
They did not.
It was not necessary. We had Cooper DeJean with the pick six.
I was excited for him on that one.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
Cool Super Bowl moment.
Yeah, that's an all-time Super Bowl moment. That's like, I mean, it's James Harrison-esque, but not as impactful as James Harrison pick six
Yeah.
in that particular game. But definitely started all of the momentum, if it wasn't already there, in favor of the Eagles. Patrick Mahomes on the next drive, the next pass attempt, throws another interception. This time it looked like it was aided by a defensive lineman pushing an offensive lineman into Mahomes as he threw the ball. But either way, two picks, two passes. The Chiefs go down, 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 down. No offensive firepower. The Eagles' defensive line was able to get there all night with
All
only
night,
four
all night long, all night.
with only four rushers. Obviously, we have Jalen Hurts as the MVP. Any other game action to discuss? The
Like,
game action was all slanted towards the Eagles. So
I don't know what you want to define as game action.
things that happened from the start of the first quarter until the end of the second quarter, and the start of the third quarter until the end of the fourth quarter.
So, like on the field, not like commentary, but on the field.
Have at it with commentary included.
Can we talk about Tom Brady for a hot second? All right, watch this. Nate,
Jim.
the quarterback for Kansas City's name is
Carson Wentz.
He's a quarterback on the
but
roster.
what do you call him?
Kermit the Frog.
No, for real.
Mahomes.
Alex, what do you call him?
Patrick Mahomes.
But like if you're speaking in short, what would you call him?
I guess Mahomes. I wouldn't call him
Muff.
Patrick.
Muff. What do you call him?
Mahomes.
Tom Brady's incessant need to call him Patrick. Patrick. And enunciated like every syllable that he has to drove me fucking nuts. It's as if you were talking down to him, as if Patrick was a child that was beneath Tom Brady.
Well,
Quite literally, he is.
It was like he had to do it. I didn't get that. It bothered me. So,
So
like,
Patrick, like that seems to me like more of a grown-up name. If you call him Pat Mahomes, it's
Maybe
like,
he
oh,
was-
little kid.
it was the tone and the inflection. It just
tone
was
and
like,
pitch.
you are less than. Look at Patrick. Look at him throwing the ball. I will say that Tom pointed out the footwork of Patrick a lot. You're staring at Patrick's feet way too much, Tom. Bothered me.
I mean,
Couple
it
other-
was
Seemed to
very
not like
uncomfortable.
Tom.
Couple other notes I have.
Do you like Tom Brady, Jim?
I don't mind Tom Brady. I thought his jab at Kevin Hart when
You
he
don't
was
mind
shown.
Thomas?
Don't mind Thomas one bit. I thought his jab at Kevin Hart. He was like, "How can the cameraman find Kevin Hart?" I was like, "Wow." Still bitter about the roast. That was awesome.
And they said that too. Oh, the goat.
It was awesome. But I also want to talk about. I have notes here about Travis Kelce.
You mean the man who walked into the stadium as if this was a scene from Boogie Nights?
Yeah, and like he was not in the right headspace. Patrick didn't seem like he was in the right headspace. There was something wrong.
Well, glad you bring that up. There's speculation that maybe Mr. Patrick Mahomes had a bit of some cobwebs as he was slammed to the ground early in the game. Granted, he didn't have a lot of time to do anything, but there was speculation that maybe he had a little bit of a C word.
So we're using the Ohio State Michigan excuse. I'm familiar. I'm familiar.
In
It-
in what particular matchup?
The what's his name? He doesn't play there anymore because he just graduated. When we lost to Michigan this year, our quarterback had a concussion.
Will Howard.
Tom McCord.
Will Howard. That's what I wanted to say. Kyle McCord. Yeah.
I guess potentially, yeah. But, I mean, I'm not saying I've only seen that in a couple spots. I don't know if it's picked up steam. I didn't hear it on any of the like the nationally syndicated sports shows this morning.
It just looked bad. Those two looked rough. But also Saquon Barkley. Very quiet birthday.
Didn't have to
The
have,
whole plan was to stop him.
and they did. The problem was is they didn't stop Jalen Brown or Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Jahan Dotson.
Well, they proved they can't do both.
Correct.
Also, Andy Reid. And I don't like this. A lot of people saying that this hurt his legacy.
I don't know if I buy that.
I
A lot of
mean,
sports talking heads, Twitter, and
wow.
some of the ESPNs
What'd you
people
call them, Jim? The talking
talking
heads.
heads.
Uh,
I don't like that.
Andy
I don't
Reid
like
is
that.
also a more accomplished Philadelphia head coach than Nick Sirianni.
Yes.
So a little bit
Yes.
tough there.
Those are my takeaways I had written down. That's what I
Okay.
have to contribute.
Jalen Hurts, MVP, deserving. I don't think there's anybody else that deserved it in this game.
Matt,
Ran
Ari-
a lot.
What was
What'd you
that,
say,
Nate?
Nate?
Matt Ariza.
Chiefs punter, yes. Yes. Uh, I guess you could say that. Jalen Hurts, yeah, I think he was the most deserving of anybody. I don't even think there was any. I mean, you could say Cooper DeJean, but I feel like he needed one more interception and some other key stats to even get any consideration
Yeah,
there.
he would have just been like, I feel like a for fun kind of like.
Right.
He had a moment.
I think you could have honestly just voted for the entire defensive line for the Eagles.
Yeah,
Yes,
that would have been a good pick.
Because what was the stat? They said that however many percentage or whatever of his dropbacks, he was pressured by the front four, and they didn't blitz once all night.
Yeah. Yeah, the front four just destroyed the Chiefs' offensive line. Obviously, the weakest link of the game was the Chiefs' offensive line.
That was bad.
It was bad, bad. Nick Sirianni, playoffs, first 4 years as a head coach, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl win.
And they wanted him fired.
But Philly is
Philadelphia,
like a rougher version of Columbus. They actually throw hands.
they don't talk about it, they do it.
Yeah,
They're
Yeah,
about
Philly's
that
like
action.
drunk Columbus.
drunk Columbus. Yeah,
I mean, Columbus doesn't have to grease the poles.
no.
So with this, the Chiefs moving forward. What do we feel
Okay.
is in store for the Chiefs next year? Knowing that the Chiefs, along with the Ravens, are the odds-on favorites right now to win the Super Bowl again.
this is something I have a question about. Why did the Eagles fall out of that top 2 spot?
Cap. I'm just guessing.
I don't think no, they have their primaries locked up.
That's was because that was my first thought, but it's really not.
Yeah, I looked at the list of their free agents because that's what Schefter does within like 2 hours of the end of the season for both teams. They've got some defensive pieces, but I don't think anybody along the defensive line I saw is key. I think they got some people in the back seven of the defense. I think their offensive line's pretty solid, and all of their skill positions on offense are in a good spot. So, yeah, I don't. It didn't make sense to me why the Eagles weren't one of the top two, but it is the Chiefs and the Ravens.
I wouldn't have even had a problem if they said Eagles, Ravens, but
I don't know how the Ravens are in the conversation. I just don't. Until they show something, the Eagles to me are legit. The Chiefs, I think they have to shore some things up, but I think they're contenders.
I think the Chiefs have more pieces to lock up.
Yeah.
One of them being Nick Bolton, I think, is a free agent, and he was the leading tackler in the Super Bowl. So, TBD. Travis Kelce.
hmm
We've already referred to some of his on-field performance or lack thereof. Do we think we see Travis Kelce in a Chiefs uniform next year?
Yeah.
yes. He made a comment like he still has a lot of football to play or something like that.
But the question is in a Chiefs uniform.
Yeah, he's not going out like that.
He's under contract with them, I'm pretty sure, isn't he?
Yeah, for another year or two, I think.
I
Yeah.
don't see him ever play. I think he'll retire when he's done as a Chief. That's just my.
Okay.
There's that
Then I
answer.
was then yeah.
I agree. I agree. I was just curious if I mean I don't expect him to say anything right after the Super Bowl to tip his hand. But yeah, just curious on the sentiment. Nate, it's all
Mhm.
you, buddy. Fox score bug.
Piece
All
of
him.
shit.
It's not just him. America. Why did they change it?
We want to start with Nate. Nate,
Yes.
how do you feel about the Fox score bug?
I feel like it was something clipped out of word art
Indeed.
that someone in an elementary school in any part of the country could have done better.
Go on.
As the notes say, including accounts like you found of Pizza Hut said, "Who let Gronk design the scoreboard?"
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the Twitter sphere got in on this new score bug. I don't like the score bug itself. I think I like the premise behind this, which
Yeah.
is it's not a solid line,
Mm-hmm.
right? It has the breaks so it doesn't cut out parts of the field. I like that part of this, but it was very elementary in
Yeah, I
other
want to
pieces.
know whose big brain designed this.
Feel like this was one of those, hey Fox, we just had to do a 10% staff cut.
But
Cons
Jimmy's oldest son, he just took typing class in high school, and he said he's got us.
We've got this intern who just finished their sophomore year at Podunk U. You use AI, right, kid? Yeah. Can you design this for us? Cool. And this is what we got.
Or maybe a certain demographic needed it simplified for themselves.
And what
I
demo
think
would
if you're going
that
to talk
be?
about the old whites, Jim, I think this created
I
a
didn't say
more.
that.
I
That
think
was
this
not what I was
created.
angling for.
What demographic did this cater to then, Jim?
I
I
feel
I,
like we
I
should.
wasn't. I feel like people in attendance who need to watch the screen on their suite TV might need it simplified for them.
I thought you were going to say they abbreviated it for Philly because they nobody in Philly apparently can spell Eagles.
Well,
Oh
that
yeah, did
Could
is.
you see
be.
that lady?
Could be.
That's
I
funny.
believe we're talking about the same demographic, Jim. You and I.
Yeah.
So, if that's the demographic we're speaking to, I think a more transparent design is not to the liking of those that may have some deteriorating eyesight.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, do we think Fox stays with this going into next year? Is the
No.
bigger question.
No.
Do
I
we
hope not.
think they get a more skilled intern to figure this one out?
Yeah, it might have to be a paid internship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whoever
this
wrote
is.
this one.
Listen, pay me just $10 more, $10 more than you would have paid this person. And I'll be
Like even if they would have used the same bug, like put the freaking logos on there instead of a big KC and PHI.
This is what we got. This is what we
I
got.
will say my stepmom really did not like the anime figures they kept showing of them. Not sure why, but she was very against them. She's like, I don't get it. Like, why do they keep showing cartoons of them? It's like, I don't know, man.
To get the Nickelodeon crowd. Uh, all right. Any other thoughts on the game? Game action.
Nope.
Harrison Butker didn't even have a field goal attempt.
Nor an extra point attempt.
Yeah, no action for Harrison Butker, aside from kickoffs.
He didn't even one of them. He didn't even get. Did
Yeah,
the onside kick was
also
kicked
true.
by
Yeah.
the lineman.
So, yeah, so we had that going on. Yeah, I did hear this. This will be the last thing I have to say. There was talk amongst some Eagles fans that 2 years ago when they met in the Super Bowl, that the Sod Father was out to get the Eagles because they created a playing surface that was to the disadvantage of the defensive linemen for the Philadelphia Eagles, and this Chiefs had it coming this year
Yeah,
because they're
CJ
playing.
GJ. It was like I kept receipts.
Yeah,
I don't know. Saquon kept slipping and sliding all over the turf.
Yeah, that happened.
But
Indeed,
that's
indeed.
my last thought on the game itself. Anything else?
On the game itself.
The
On
game
the game
itself.
itself, not really. It was fun. It was a Super Bowl. It was fun because the team I wanted to win was winning.
Yeah. Jim, do you have any thoughts on the Steelers hate that you decided
I
to
had
pile
no
up on?
Steelers hate. No Steelers hate.
None.
No.
You
What did
weren't
I say
controlling
that
you
was
weren't
bad?
controlling the Sports Stuff with Jim Muff podcast and
What was
retweeting
bad?
things.
If I did, it was by mistake. It meant to be from mine. I I merely was trying to point out that Kenny Pickett won a Super Bowl.
Kenny Pickett has a Super Bowl ring. I will
Yeah,
capitulate to that statement.
that's what I was trying to point out.
And he has more Super Bowl stats than Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and all those combined.
Yep, Kenny
Yeah.
Pickett.
Jim, the
Yeah,
Eagles have won
buddy.
2 Super Bowls with 2 different coaches since the Steelers last won a playoff game.
I mean,
That was you.
that's just factual.
It is. My
I don't say that
only.
was hate. That's not hate.
Why would you tweet out about something that's negative towards the Steelers?
That's not negative. That's factual. And as a fan base, y'all should be fucking pissed.
All right, Alex. The only thing I have to
Negative.
say for our fan base
I will say
is
that Jim would not have tweeted that if that was any other team,
I
because there are
agree.
other teams that applies to that we are not talking about.
Correct. Like all of Jim's teams.
Yes,
Um, guess what the Steelers did this year, Alex, and have done for many years in the past?
had a winning season.
Fire
Beat
coordinator.
beat their rivals. Jim,
Oh,
sorry, bud.
you
Uh,
deserved that.
if
Did you
that
guys
is
beat the Eagles?
the rivals,
Eagles
which
are not
aren't
our
the Eagles,
rivals.
that would be the Ravens, just so we're clear. And yes,
Hmm,
they've beat them every year for the past 6, 7, 8,
let's
9 years.
see. The Steelers
They did. They beat them once this year.
rivals.
Would
Browns
be
and the Ravens.
division foes.
The Ravens. Yep, I'll
Oh,
give it to you.
hmm. So, ipso facto, if the Steelers continue to beat their rivals, the Eagle or the Ravens, it's a successful season. So I don't know why you're putting all of this hate, because all it takes
Philly
for a
in the top
successful
10.
season is
Philly's not
to
our
beat your
rival.
rival.
Again,
They're in the top 10 of your rivals.
There's 32 teams in the NFL, Jim.
Right?
they are in the top third of teams we would consider rivals.
Yeah.
Jim, all I'm saying is they beat their rival. It's a successful season. End of discussion.
That's not gonna hurt me.
Wait,
Not one bit.
all right. I'm
I've
just gonna.
already owned the whole rivals bit, and we all know where I stand on it. However,
Oh,
the
there's no
last
however.
Super
That was
Bowl,
period. That was end of sentence.
the
Period.
last Super Bowl won by the Steelers was when?
Super Bowl 43,
And we're on Super Bowl what?
58.
Oh, so that was
Okay, when was the last time one of your teams won a Super Bowl?
yeah.
You
Also
ain't
very
wrong.
true.
You ain't wrong.
I just want to say, if you opened up the Steelers hate for this discussion, Jim.
I did not open up any hate. I pointed out a fact. You guys are turning it visceral. I pointed out a fact.
You gonna be a Chargers fan again?
No.
Okay. All right. Next year. Very
So we're just gonna
alluded to.
move past the halftime. I'm not gonna talk about the halftime.
You want to
There's
talk
a lot
about?
that happened in that halftime
Is
that's
there
sports related.
that is sports related? Okay. Serena Williams did a sea walk, which is
How
Wimbledon
are we not gonna
related.
talk about that?
Which is Wimbledon related.
Did you see her?
Did you know it was her until after somebody told you? That's the real
No,
question. Me either.
not one bit. Did I
Yeah, I will say
replay
I
it?
knew it was her.
Did you?
Did she look
I
fine
did.
as fuck? Yes, she did. Damn. Are we gonna talk about how Stephen A's all butthurt about it?
I will say I did not know that she was Drake's girlfriend at ever any point.
Neither did I.
I think I did know that. I did not know it was her, and I forgot about the whole Wimbledon thing.
Did you guys hear about Stephen A today?
No.
No.
So Stephen A is like, if I was ever had my wife trying to dance and troll her ex, I would not be married. Well, you've never been married, Stephen A. Put that in your coffee cup. Two, if you were ever married to Serena Williams, you'd be kissing the ground and she walked on.
And I'm pretty sure her husband came out and said he loved it.
He
Yeah,
did.
after he had to put up with Stephen A. talking shit on his wife. Like, shut up, Stephen A.
Ain't nobody like you.
Exactly.
Hey,
Way
I
out
don't
of
like
pocket for
Stephen
that.
A. whenever the Cowboys lose.
Yeah, you serve one purpose. One purpose. Now, I know this is not sports related, and no, Muff,
You said you
I'm
had
not
sports
getting
related
political.
things.
I'm not getting political.
I
But
would
if
like you
you're
to name one
Drake,
other sports related thing.
I
if
feel like
you're
he
Drake,
used
yeah,
Serena
Drake
Williams
likes
to get in.
Drake's
Oh, it
like
was 110%. I need
I'm
one
not
other
talking
sports.
politics, Muff.
I need one other sports related item before we get into whatever you're about to get into.
All right, you ready? You ready? Toronto Raptors stan Drake got bodied at halftime. Bodied. If you're him, do you show your face in public again?
I mean, he will. 110% he will. Um,
Rough.
I had an offline conversation with another group of people and asked was is it worse to be MGK after Eminem's kill shot or Drake after the halftime performance?
Oh God.
And resoundingly, the group said Drake after this performance because Eminem's kill shot was not viewed live by
The
millions,
world.
millions of people in real time.
Wow. And then the to do all that the performance, right? And then have the whole stand say A minor after the Grammys audience said A minor. And then have the whole backdrop, the light up crowd say game over. I was just like, I felt bad for Drake.
I did not.
Yeah,
Right. I don't feel bad for Drake.
there we
I
go.
was like, damn.
Something that was pointed out to me was, did anybody else realize that the PlayStation buttons,
Controller? Yeah.
yeah, was a part of the field or a
Dude, I
part of the
went down a rabbit
performance?
hole. I could go all day, but this is a sports podcast, and I promised I wouldn't. So, damn. That's all I got for the halftime muff. I promised.
Yeah, I think it's all that I can think of otherwise as well.
Oh,
Uh,
Lady Gaga. Hell of a performance in the beginning of the pregame.
indeed,
Tom Brady looks like a walking zombie, but hell of a performance by
it's,
Lady Gaga.
it's got some higher cheekbones than I think I remember him having.
Yeah, looking
My
rough,
grandma
Tommy.
still says he looks. Mm.
Good for your grandma. Go ahead.
We said, Grandma, you like Tom Brady? Because we already knew that. And she goes, mm. And I said, oh, okay.
America the Beautiful, also good. Like that as well. Big fan of the trombone.
Trombone.
Trombone Shorty. Well done. Didn't
Uh,
hate on the national anthem. It did go along according to Muff.
it went over whatever the prop was. It was over for like plus 135. I didn't have anything on it, but I thought it seemed longer, especially towards the end. Um,
He
yeah,
repeated the line a couple of times more than that.
that's
That did us in.
that's what took it over.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I think that's all I got.
That covers it. Are we going to talk commercials for Sam at this point?
Yeah, I think we give Sam a
I
commercial
think
talk.
it's commercial
Because I
time now.
actually, Sam, I'm a true confession to you right now. I have commercial notes as well because I prepared for you.
I'm so proud of you. Do you want to
I
go?
know.
Nate,
Yeah, I will if you want me to.
Go ahead.
The Dunkin' Donuts commercial
yeah,
with Bill Belichick in the background, loved it. Uh, the Pfizer cancer commercial with the guy with the kid running with the boxing, loved it. And then I realized it was like a Pfizer commercial. Didn't know how to feel because like Pfizer drugs, cancer, okay, liked it, but Pfizer, yeah. Seal in the Mountain Dew commercial felt weird about that one. It was cool, but very weird.
that was so my college classes. That was the one that they are like, oh yeah, the seal one. And I was like, why is that the one that everyone is remembering? It's memorable.
I wrote down Uber Eats food conspiracy.
That was the Matthew McConaughey one.
Love that one.
That was a good.
Love that one. Uh,
I think that was the full minute, right? That was a $16 million commercial.
no shit.
It was $8 million for a 30-second spot.
The Chat GPT dot thing, I couldn't look at the TV. It hurt my eyes. It was bad.
Don't recall that one.
The cafe, I wrote down cafe tongues.
Oh yeah, that was
The creamer commercial
the
with the
creamer
tongues.
one. Yeah, that one seemed that was odd.
That was gross. Uh, Tubi flesh heads. That was stupid. Where they had the cowboy flesh heads, cowboy hat flesh heads.
I don't recall that one.
Also dumb. Harrison Ford Jeep commercial. If I didn't want to buy a Jeep now, my God, that man made me want to buy a Jeep. Uh, the dead alien with the Torino's pizza,
The pizza rolls one.
where the poor alien gets his head just destroyed that was wild. And lastly, because I'm a fan of Goggins, the GoDaddy Goggins ad. Big fan of that one. Those are my commercials, Sam.
Who's gonna carry the boats, Jim?
You're up, Sam.
Okay, so first, I want to give a special shout out to Erin Andrews' sparkly blazer and shirt. I'd love to know where she got it. I
Okay.
don't know if anyone else saw it, but I had to mention it for all the girls listening.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Alex, was that your inspiration for your coloring tonight?
Yeah,
definitely.
that's why I'm covered in glitter now.
You'd
So
like to be.
starting off, I
Erin
did
Andrews,
enjoy the Lilo and Stitch one for the new Lilo and Stitch movie where Stitch
Yeah.
right into the goalpost. Thought it was
Yep.
cute.
Kids popped off for that one so hard.
I liked the seal one. Of course, we already talked about it. The Michelob Ultra pickleball one
That was with Willem Dafoe, yeah.
with Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe, who I love because I was friends with his nephew in high school. Fun fact, his family's from Moundsville. The Hex Cloud with Gordon Ramsay and the cute aliens, mostly because they were making fun of Gordon Ramsay, and I love that. The Angel Soft potty break was so cute, where it was telling you that you had 20 seconds to go to the bathroom. I thought it was adorable.
Someone brought that up. Like whoever had that commercial, great idea.
Yeah. The pizza rolls, like Jim said, with the alien getting stuck in the door. The Lay's potato chip little farmer one with the potato that falls off the truck.
Yeah.
So cute, almost made me cry. I do have feelings. The Nerd Wallet Beluga Whale one.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Another fun fact, my boss's son works for Nerd Wallet, so I got the backstory on the commercial. It was kind of cool. And lastly, which I don't remember seeing this, but I saw it all over Facebook, the Edgar Snyder Pittsburgh commercial. Did anyone see it?
Was it local broadcasting? Because I don't recall it.
I'm not sure, but my friend's brother actually filmed it and like created it, I guess. So yeah, it was all over Facebook. It was pretty cool. I did like rewatch it, but I didn't see it during the actual Super Bowl.
Yeah, you've got some of those really local spots that it may have just been in like the Pittsburgh area, not the surrounding area.
I had Bobby Carpenter and the Garage Beer here in Columbus.
Yeah.
My one complaint, and they kind of missed their mark on this, the Country Roads commercial.
Yeah.
Okay. They could have used footage from a WVU game when they cut to like a football game. It was not. Like, of all things you could have found.
I feel like, and I don't disagree that would be cool, that does not reach a national audience.
But it was.
And you don't want people to get them confused with Virginia.
Also,
I would
could be an
love for
issue.
someone to know that we're a real state.
If they didn't know, I don't think them showing you the West Virginia fans singing Country Roads was gonna drive it home.
Yeah, probably not, but it's worth a try. Anyways, that's my Super Bowl commercial recap. I kept it short, Nate. You're welcome.
Alex, I want so many brownie points for not saying anything negative right there.
You literally said that they would confuse us with Virginia.
They do.
They do confuse us with
Who's
Virginia.
they?
The
Everyone.
general public.
Not this public.
Do you know how many times I have been in like a state not far away and they're like, oh, that's part of Virginia, right? What's the weather like up there? Like,
So you're in the South, got it.
no, I was in New York City.
Up there. So I feel like
Up
there's an issue right
Yeah,
there.
we don't know.
Geography, not
They're not very smart in New York City, I guess.
And we broke off in like what, 1836, 37?
1963, but yeah.
Okay, same thing.
Don't even know your history,
Alex
Sam.
with the zinger.
Pass it over. Pass it over to
No, I mean, I'm
Alex.
just saying, she was close.
Alex and I did sit next to each other in a history class, so
Pass it over to Nate. Your time
All
here is
right.
done.
goodbye.
Bye.
I've
Good
been
job,
kicked off.
Sam.
And that was the Super Bowl commercial recap with Sam. Ba da 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 yada.
Da da da.
All right.
Da-da-da.
Was that your like segue, Alex? Going from
Oh.
Kiss from a Rose to an ESPN noise?
I think Jim started it, if I'm being honest.
Baby!
I could take. Okay. moving on.
Take, compare. I think compare is the next line there.
Yeah.
So I've already stated the Chiefs and Ravens are Super Bowl favorites next year. We also had the Hall of Fame inductees announced. They include Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, and Sterling Sharp. We have no Eli Manning and no Adam Vinatieri.
I think Vinatieri got snubbed.
If ever there was going to be a kicker as a first ballot Hall of Famer, it was going to be Vinatieri.
There's too many people that have a say in this voting that they would never allow a kicker to be a first ballot.
You have to release these ballots too?
I don't know if they have to release them or not.
I call for account. I call for transparency. Not that I think that they got this wrong. I'm just curious of like how close Manning and Vinatieri were. So was there any other snubs? Those are the two that I saw stand out.
How many years is Reggie Wayne going to be a finalist and not get in?
That's a good call. That's a good call. I feel like he's on like an Eli Manning. When Eli Manning gets in, Reggie Wayne gets in.
So the only thing that I saw about Eli was, and I agree with it, it's like he has the 2 Super Bowl wins, but nothing else. Like his career record is like 500. And like everything else about his resume is just an average quarterback. He just happened to get to the Super Bowl twice and win those 2 times. That's the only thing going for him.
I agree 100%. So we'll see how. I mean, Eli Manning is the testament to how much weight do you put a Super Bowl winning quarterback to a Super Bowl winning quarterback. So we'll find
Yeah,
out.
that's why I said I don't see a snub as much with him as I do with Vinatieri.
Yeah, like even McAfee's like, oh, he leads the league in points scored, and you think how many times he's made these big time kicks in playoff games and Super Bowls.
I mean, he leads the league in the category that the league props up wins in NFL history. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But congratulations to those that did get in. Pretty cool to see for me, Antonio Gates and Jared Allen.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Antonio Gates.
Yeah, he definitely deserved it, no question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jim,
I
you
agree.
can't take credit for that in any way. He
The
plays for
fuck
the
do you
he
mean,
plays for
Muff?
the he plays for the Chargers. No longer your
He
team.
doesn't play for anybody. He's
He played.
retired.
He
You
played.
dick. And he played during the time in which I was a fan.
I'm sorry, your fandom's gone. Denounced.
You know, you're taking it a lot more negatively than I said a fact.
Denounced fandom.
You're very
Miles
angry and upset.
Miles Garrett says he wants to be traded.
Can you blame him?
I hope he goes to the Steelers.
Hey, listen, me
He's not
too.
going to the division.
Jim, I'm not going to say no to that. His last 2 years of his current contract are not guaranteed, which leads to the speculation amongst many. Does he really want to be traded, or is he playing the game to get an extension or a restructuring of his contract. What
I
do
think
we think?
I think he truly wants the hell out of Cleveland, and yeah, getting some guaranteed money is probably not a bad idea.
Jim?
I could see both.
I
I
was going
could
to say
see.
part of me thinks he wants one or the other, and I don't know that he feels super strongly one way or the other,
Yep.
but one or the other.
Yep. I think he's like, listen, I need something to change. So either I'm leaving or the team needs we need to figure shit out here.
I think he becomes the highest paid, whatever it is, by season or total contract with this. It's whether or not I agree that it's the Browns or somebody else. I think his ultimate goal is to say I am the highest paid defensive player. And whatever team is willing to do that is the one he's willing to entertain.
Mhm.
The Jets have informed Aaron Rodgers he won't be back with the team next season.
You all right, Muff? You gonna be okay?
Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers no matter where Aaron Rodgers is, Jim.
Okay.
In fact, the Steelers are the odds-on favorite at the moment. So get
If
excited.
he comes back.
There is the big old if. Nate, did you share this in one of our group
Yeah,
chats?
that apparently the uh, organization said that if he were to come back, he couldn't do McAfee anymore.
The NFL did.
No, not the NFL, the Jets.
So, and he probably did he say McAfee's more important, so I'm out?
No,
Or he said, perfect, this is a way
I
to get
shared this
out.
before we started recording from Dove Kleiman, and it said uh, the Jets apparently told Rogers he couldn't appear on the McAfee show anymore if he wanted to be with the team, per Diana Rossini. Quote, "You're not going to do Pat McAfee interviews anymore." They had a conversation with him of, if you were to stay here, here is how we want it to be done, end quote.
Yeah, I feel like you don't tell Aaron Rodgers how things will be done.
I'm not a Rodgers fan, but I think that's ridiculous. Like I
Yeah.
just don't.
I mean, you gotta, he, McAfee, right? Not afraid of poking the Jets ownership situation, especially with the owner's son. They definitely played that up pretty heavily and definitely tossed up some softballs on the whole like vaccination thing all at the same time. So I can understand the Jets wanting to find a way to control that narrative so that it doesn't continue to get out of hand. But I feel like that was just a bit too far, if true. But we'll see what happens with Aaron Rodgers into next season.
I don't
Who
know why anybody would want to go to the Jets at this point.
I agree. I think Aaron Glenn has the most difficult task ahead of him
Yeah.
as a new head coach, and that's saying a bunch because of some of the other openings that were filled.
Mm-hmm.
In the wide receiver rooms, 49ers are looking to trade Debo Samuel, and the Rams are going to be looking to trade Cooper Kupp this offseason. Debo Samuel likely on the way out a year after the 49ers extended Brandon Ayuk, who was a holdout before the start of last season. What teams do we think are going to be most interested, whether or not they have the cap space, but just think of teams filling spots? Alex.
Steelers. I'm just kidding, but actually, I think the Steelers could use to get one of those and get rid of George Pickens.
Okay. Can you name one other team, Alex?
That needs receivers.
Yes.
The problem, I part of me wants to say like someone like the Bengals with Joe Burrow, an up and coming quarterback, but when you talk about cap space, I don't think that I think that's going to be an issue. Because they have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase already. But could you imagine a third one there? Um, the Commanders,
Bills.
yeah, that's a
Bills
good one.
definitely need one. Um,
Honestly, the Chiefs,
Saints, yeah, Chiefs need a true number one.
yeah,
I mean, Texans, Jim, they need somebody gets hurt every year. I feel like they need some
Yeah, I
insurance
mean, I was gonna
policies.
throw that out there.
Not because they don't have the talent, but they need the insurance policies.
Yeah.
The Chargers, they have Lad McConkey on a rookie deal, which means they could probably spend some money. Yeah, I think there's many potential suitors. Um, I don't disagree, Alex. I mean, of course, Steelers fans are all about one of these two. I think Debo Samuel is probably the one that Steelers fans are more interested in.
Yeah, I'm
But
more
I
I'm
would
I'm
I
more
would
of a
take
Cooper
either.
Cup fan.
I would take either. So toss them up there. Nate, Bucks need anybody? I think you're in a good spot.
If they can't get Chris Godwin back, then yeah, they need another receiver.
Yeah, he's also injury prone, so that could be similar to the Texas situation for Jim. But again, you have to be able to afford to pay everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the NFL awards happened.
They-
MVP is Haley Steinfeld's boyfriend, Josh Allen.
They're engaged now, aren't they?
I believe so. Yes. So Josh Allen went out over Lamar Jackson, who was second, Saquon Barkley third, and there was one voter who had Lamar Jackson as fourth on his ballot.
I want to know who did they have in there then?
It was Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, and I don't remember who the third person was.
Probably Patrick Mahomes.
No, it was not Patrick Mahomes. It may have been like Joe Burrow.
I was gonna say, hell, maybe been Burrow.
Yeah, it may have been Burrow as the fourth one there. So I think we talked about this a little bit. Josh Allen, we think, is deserving.
Yes.
I do.
Yeah, I've said all along, I think that what hurt Lamar Jackson is the fact that he had Derrick Henry with him.
Yeah.
I don't think that Lamar Jackson is not a top player and is not deserving of second in this, but Josh Allen was the most valuable player to his team this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Coach of the year was Kevin O'Connell, KOC from the Vikings.
Yeah,
Not
that's grossly overachieved with Darnold.
They did. Any thoughts on Dan Campbell? Maybe shouldn't have that spot there, Alex and Jim?
No.
I think Dan Campbell performed his expect. I think he was expected to be there. I think the difference with O'Connell is that he outkicked his expectations.
Okay. Here we go. Comeback player of the year, Joe Burrow. I
No
think this,
surprises there.
yeah, I think this laid to rest the Sam Darnold. We're not gonna give this to a player who just didn't play much last year and was still
Mm-hmm.
healthy. I think this set the precedent for the future of what the comeback player truly is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
does Damar Hamlin get on this for again next year, or is he done now?
Done.
Because he was on the ballot. I think he finished like fourth.
He came back. He's done.
So there we go. Offensive player of the year, Saquon Barkley.
Good pick.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Everybody thought it was going to be Lamar or Josh as the MVP and Saquon as the offensive player of the year, so that played out. Defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain the second. I honestly wasn't locked into this.
Yeah.
It's been an edge rusher more recently that usually gets this award, so I think it's interesting for a defensive back to get it, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Mixed it up a little bit and gave hope to some other guys.
Offensive rookie of the year, Jaden Daniels. I think this was a no contest.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
And defensive rookie of the year, Jared Verse.
Yeah,
Again,
the way he played in the playoffs kind of won him that.
yeah. And the last bit of news, well, yeah, part of the last bit of news for the NFL. Bears majority owner Virginia Hallis McCaskey passed away at the age of 102. Leaving many to wonder what will become of the Bears. Is her family still interested in having that primary ownership stake?
Or move into a different part of Chicago, right?
Yes. Because of Kevin, Jim.
Yeah, that guy.
And the last bit of NFL news, it is official. Kellen Moore has taken the last spot as the New Orleans Saints head coach.
Youngest.
As
Head coach.
expected, I feel like the issue at hand is who's going to join his staff.
And who they have on the field because they are in cap hell.
Yeah, what do they got? 1 or 2 more years left of that?
I don't know, but they're like 80 million over the cap right now.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is the cap continues to go up, 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 but it's not going to go up that much.
No, it is not.
Any other NFL news?
Not really.
Okay, get us into the college football offseason. We have some things to chat about. We'll start with the Ohio State update. Jim?
Yeah, some shit happened. Brian Hartline is the offensive coordinator, and Ryan Day got an extension. They are interviewing Matt Patricia for their defensive coordinator. They were turned down by shit. The name is fleeting. DJ Durkin from Auburn. Auburn was ended up coming back to the table saying, "Hey, we'll pay you more." Uh, it's we're not going to talk about it because it's Columbus and everything's peachy because we got that gold trophy in the trophy case. But there's some gray clouds over this whole coordinator situation that like we act like it's sunshine and rainbows, and it ain't as sunny as we portray.
I mean, is Brian Hartline a concern? Or
I
just
think
the
so.
defensive coordinator?
I think Hartline, we had him as an offensive coordinator, and then we went and decided we needed Chip. So why was he good enough the first go round? I mean, he's a recruiting machine. Don't get it
Right.
twisted. And he's a great receivers coach, but does it translate to offensive coordinator? It's TBA, TBD. The defensive coordinator being turned down after you're the national champion and you are Ohio State, and the guy goes back to Auburn. All right, it's not as easy road to hoe for the Ohio State and the national champions. That's a little sketchy, man. So, but we're still having a spring game that got announced too.
You going?
Yeah, I'll probably go.
If you are you going to try to encounter Ryan Day on the sideline, have a conversation?
I mean, if I have those kind of tickets, eh, it's probably best that it's probably best I don't have those kind of tickets.
Because you've said if you ever in the next 5 to 10 years have an opportunity for a photo op with Ryan Day and you are smiling, credibility
Yeah,
is gone.
that's not gonna happen. That's not. I can't. No, I mean he got that big extension and he gave a
Right.
million dollars to Ohio State's mental health area. Like again, I don't think he's a bad human. Like, I don't think he's like at the heart a terrible human.
Right.
I just think he's not a great leader.
Fair
That's
enough.
how I feel.
All right. Penn State update. Running backs coach Jawan Sider is leaving to take the same position at Notre Dame. Not too concerned this upcoming year because we got Katron Allen and Nick Singleton coming back. So, yes, he was part of, I'm sure, what helped develop them. But I think what they have there is a good thing. But I'm potentially concerned for 2 to 3 years down the road. I'm not sure. I'm honestly unsure about his role in the recruiting situation. So if he had any significant role in that over the past 5-ish years, that could be an issue moving forward. And important news for Penn State. I think some of this happened previously, but officially they've welcomed wide receiver Kyron Hudson from USC and Devontae Ross from Troy. So did pick up. I think Devontae Ross was a major pickup as far as receivers from those lesser conferences available. So I am all about that. Uh, yeah, that's what I got for Penn State. Alex,
Oh,
WU?
wait, Jim Tressel's the lieutenant governor now of Ohio. Yeah.
Is that like in charge of NIL stuff?
You'd think. You'd think.
What does that mean?
I, I,
So like the right
I
hand?
the last lieutenant governor was in charge of the business end of Ohio. This one, I don't know what Jimmy T is going to be in charge of.
Isn't that the whole reason he's not the coach anymore?
I don't know.
Is he still the president of Youngstown?
No, I mean, I don't think you can have that. So, no.
He's going to be the Ohio's Department of Education secretary.
Alex, WVU.
Okay. WVU has a decent recruiting class so far. I think I saw on like rivals.com they were ranked about 40th. I thought it was kind of cool. They picked up a few West Virginia guys at the end of signing day. Two notable ones were Spring Mills quarterback Max Anderson. Pretty sure Nate got to officiate his championship.
I did.
And then Trevor Bigelow coming from Fairmont Senior, which is the same school that Zach Frazier, Dante Stills, and Darius Stills came from. So some good players came out of there. Being West Virginia homer, I did think that I like whenever in-state kids get recruited there. But it seems like they're building strongly on their offensive line in general. Defensive line as well, but good to see a little bit of movement on that offensive line. So we'll see how it shakes out. Brought a bunch of guys over from Jacksonville State. Coaching staff's pretty well set up. So what we can do now is hope for the best.
Wait for our season tickets to come to fruition, Alex.
Exactly.
Although I won't be there for the home opener against Bobby Moe. So,
Yeah, big hope opener, Alex.
But hey, we got Pitt as our next home game, so
Yep, Alex, I'll be gearing up for the Pitt matchup.
that will be one that we will be at, no question.
120%. Anything else college football world?
Nothing we need to like dab on right now.
Okay, it brings us to other interesting news in sports.
Interesting news in sports.
Starting in the basketball world. Jimmy Butler traded to Golden State to join Steph Curry and actually start playing in basketball games again. Jimmy Butler from Miami to Golden State.
And gotten a big payday on top of it.
Indeed. This is the last hoorah that everybody's giving Steph Curry to win a championship. There was speculation that he needed another piece. Jimmy Butler is the piece that they went out and got at the trade deadline. We will see what comes of this. I am actually interested to see what's going to happen there. The Lakers and Hornets had a trade not go down after Hornets player Mark Williams failed his physical, and because of the timing, they weren't able to work out another deal because the trade deadline had passed. If you knew that the team that you played for was going to be trading you, and then you found out, oh crap, this isn't going to happen, how would you feel going back into that locker room?
I think in the NBA that's just business. So I don't think I'd be upset. I'd be like, well, I'm here to make money.
I feel like you'd be full of piss and vinegar.
You talking about Jim or are you talking about yourself?
Jim.
Well,
Maybe.
Jim doesn't play in the
You
NBA.
guys try to get rid of me, and guess what? It didn't happen. So guess who's back, motherfuckers?
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
You're taking Jim's non-NBA mentality and plopping it into the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's the issue there as to why it wouldn't be that. If Jim was an NBA mentality, he'd be like, okay, give me 10
Yeah.
mil. I'll sit on the bench. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm here to make money, not friends. That's how I would treat that.
And lastly, Anthony Davis in his first week after being traded to the Mavericks from the Lakers gets hurt
Oh,
and is going to be sidelined indefinitely.
Hurt in this debut.
Yeah, they said it was an adductor issue, Alex.
He had that coming in.
yes.
When I first saw the clip, I thought, oh boy, there's a hernia.
Hernia. No, probably more of a torn groin muscle.
But correct me if I'm wrong, He was hurt coming in.
I don't
It was
remember.
back. He had back problems coming in. That was, yeah. When it happened, people were like, and nobody knew what it was. Like, oh, it's got to be his back. That has had back issues in the past. This was, I don't think the groin issue was a lingering thing that he had going on this season. I don't know if he had it in the past, but
So did the Lakers know and were like, meh.
yeah, all of these trades pending physical. So
He had to have
All right.
passed enough for that.
yeah, yeah, they're pretty. I mean, I will say if there's anything, the NBA is pretty on top of disclosing injuries appropriately. They just don't care if people report sick and they're not sick, so they can get some load management days off.
Got it.
But pretty big on making sure they report injuries appropriately. In the not WWE wrestling world, but in the competitive wrestling world that Alex is now a fan of, highly coveted Pennsylvania high school recruit Bo Bassett commits to Iowa.
Yeah.
So, Muff,
Mhm.
Meth, how do you justify that with the Penn State stuff?
Not the first highly coveted recruits. Spencer Lee and Austin DeSantis, both highly coveted Pennsylvania recruits, both went to Iowa in the past, and then they lost to Penn State wrestlers throughout their high school careers. Well, maybe not so
So
much Spencer Lee, but DeSantis did. DeSanto.
are we saying that like it's a weight class thing? Are we saying that
Uh,
like
I forget where they said he's going to compete. I think he's going to compete at 140, 140, what is it, 145? I think that's about where he's going to compete, which means that he would be competing against Tyler Kasak, who's the number one wrestler in the country. But I also think Bassett has like a range right now of weight classes that they're considering. I think honestly, let's be really honest, I think it's got to be a weight class thing. Um, he also apparently was on site at State College whenever Penn State manhandled Iowa. So there's got to be something that either Iowa is offering him differently or he really likes the Brands brothers. Don't know.
uh I'm reading real quick that NIL played a part in this.
Yeah, it's like he got like 5.5 million or something.
Yeah. If you want to offer a college wrestler 5.5 million, I don't think
That's what
that
I heard.
Cale Sanderson's going to say he's going to say, okay, if you don't want to be with us, that's fine. Go get
Yeah,
your
go
money.
chase the bag.
Yeah. So no, I don't look into it as an issue for Penn State wrestling. I think there's another Penn State,
I mean, he's a
Pennsylvania recruit.
three-time Ironman champion.
Oh, he's top of the top.
Three-time
He's a junior.
Ironman champion.
He's a junior this year, so he still has one
That's
more year.
a four-time Ironman champion. I mean, that
So he's got time to flip his commitment.
That is true.
the kid's insane. The kid is like, he is the next big thing.
Yep.
Three-time. Like for those who don't know, the Ironman, you have to like, I believe it's qualify. It might even be invite. I'm pretty sure it's qualify. And like it's not a part of your like high school season. You actually use your points as they have them that you would use in your season, and you use those points when you go to the Ironman. Like it's a thing.
Yep. It's a highly coveted title, and he does well in like the freestyle and everything. So I mean, he's definitely what you would expect to be going to Penn State to groom him to be an Olympic champion. But oh well.
But see, that's the other, excuse me, that's the other thing is like you go chase the bag in wrestling versus you're going to chase the Olympics. And where are we now with that? Like, I
Well, I
don't
mean,
know.
the truth be told, he could wrestle at Iowa for 3 years. What, we got Olympics coming up in 2 years, 3 years.
I can't even think.
He could take
This
his
summer.
Olympic redshirt year and then go train at the Nittany Wrestling Club. Right? He could still do
Mm-hmm.
that. Right? And they could still say that, oh, he trained for the Olympics there as opposed to in Iowa. So I mean, that's who knows what's going to happen, but
So does it matter where you're training for the Olympics?
Like depending on where you go to college, or are you just saying like
Like when you say you could go train at Nittany Club, is that like a very good like, or is that do you have to go there to go to the Olympics?
no, you don't have to go there. I would say it's the top right now.
Okay,
I
that's
mean,
what I wondered.
That's where Kyle Snyder went to after he graduated from Ohio State.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah, I mean, most of the Penn State guys, that's part of like why Penn State has this factor right now is because if they're at Penn State, they also then get to train with all of the Olympic level athletes that are training there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
The Ironman is invitational. Like
it's
you are
easy.
legitimately fucking invited,
Yeah,
and it is the best of the best. Like, and not just like, oh, Ironman in Ohio, like, or Ironman, but no, it's like
it's a national.
national. This kid's a three-time fucking champion.
Like I said, this has been a thing. I mean, he's done well. He's capitalized on the social end of it as well. So, hey, good for him. He got it. We'll just see how
Yeah, good for him.
his wrestling career progresses. I mean, he's going to be successful at the college level. It's just how successful will
Yeah.
he be?
Yep.
In the golf world, the Waste Management Open happened this past weekend, as we had the rush to hole 16 for the party. There was a hole in one this year,
Hey.
so there was a big old celebration for that. Um, Aside from that, over the weekend, I forget the gentleman's first name, but Dietrich became the first player from Belgium to win on the PGA Tour, and Belgium becomes the 33rd country to have a winner on the tour itself. So this is the first, we'll say, marquee, what people usually wait for to start, right, the PGA season. Even though last week they played at Pebble, that's a pro-am. This is like the first. Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
That's what we had there. Nate, go ahead and break the news to Jim.
Jim, pitchers and catches report this week.
Yay.
And spring training games start next Thursday.
Yay.
You barely
Guess what?
can excitement.
We're one day closer to the Pirates losing their 83rd game of the year and being under 500. I guess 82nd game.
Wah, wah, wah.
One
Means
day
dog
closer.
days of winter are almost behind us.
Yeah.
Amen.
Just think when the Pirates lose their 82nd game, it's got to be like July, which
Inching
means,
towards football season.
see, one day closer, Jim.
One baseball game at a time.
That's how maybe we can get Jim through baseball season if we get it to him in those kind of
It's like a
statistics.
countdown type of situation.
One baseball game at a time.
That's how we can get there. We will get there one game at a time through baseball. Well, I guess Jim's next is Daytona this week.
Yeah, buddy. It's my
Anything,
last hurrah before I go dark for a while.
any, any news? Any things to report leading up to the race?
Dale Jr. is going to have a car. As an owner, he will have a car in the race.
I'm rooting for that car. Just tell me
That.
which one it is when it's time.
And it's I can't remember I think it's Blanton's whiskey.
Yeah,
I think
They're-
that's the whiskey sponsoring his car. It's the number 40 car.
this is perfect.
Yeah, I think that may be my car.
You have to fight Alex for this one.
We can
Well, I
both.
got bonus bets from the Super Bowl, so because I picked Eli, so I'm gonna
Oh.
spend all kinds of money on the
See, I went classic and picked Peyton and got burnt.
nah young gun all the way. So get pumped, guys.
All right. Get pumped for Daytona. Get pumped for Jim's recap, which is probably not going to come until Tuesday because we may or may not be allowed to talk to Jim on Sunday night.
No,
Get
not the
pumped
races
for
on.
a release of my first completed picture from the People of Walmart coloring book.
We better
Gotta
post
get,
that on our socials.
yeah, you got to get on the socials so that way you can see it.
Yeah.
Nate, anything for you to get pumped for? Pitchers and catchers reporting. Does that mean the umpires are reporting as well?
My first local umpire meeting is this Sunday. I'm
Umpire,
still over a month away from game one.
umpires report on Sunday. Get pumped for me. We're about 2 months away from the Masters.
I'm excited for you.
Everybody needs to get pumped. Get pumped, follow the socials, do all the things, and to make sure that we go up, 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 and away, you have to tell a friend, make a friend,
Be
be
a
a friend.
friend.